Hi FlossTube, this is Karen with KB Studio Creations. This is my first FlossTube. I'm just gonna go to it. I actually wanted to record my first one last weekend, but I got bronchitis and yeah, I still don't sound the greatest, but I don't want to put this off still. So using the Know Your Needleworker tag, a little bit about me. Where do I live? I live in a small town in Virginia. What do I do for a living? I'm a graphic designer. I also do editing, and I work for a small company, so I also help out with the finances some. I don't have any children. I don't have any pets right now, but we are gonna get some more fish soon. What are some of my other hobbies besides stitching? So I have lots of different hobbies. I like reading. That's my #1 other hobby. I like book design, writing, scrapbooking, painting, photography, and I'm trying to get into sewing somewhat. I've done a little bit here and there, but I'm trying to basically use up fabric I've set aside for projects by actually doing those projects. So I might show some of those on here as well. What is my favorite movie? I don't know that I have like one favorite movie. But some of the movies I really like and I turn to frequently to watch are the live-action Cinderella, Slipper and the Rose, Ever After. You might be getting a theme here. I love fairy tales and fairy tale spin-offs. Some other ones are Enchanted, Princess Diaries 2, Pride and Prejudice, The Inheritance. So those are some of my favorites. What's my favorite TV show? I don't really watch TV, but in the fall, my husband and I had Netflix for a little while and we watched Merlin, which we really enjoyed. Favorite book. So as I said, one of my #1 hobbies is reading, and I don't know that I could pick one favorite book. So Jane Austen is one of my favorite authors, so let's go with my favorite Jane Austen book. My favorite Jane Austen book is Persuasion. Love it. My favorite. I like all the others too, but Persuasion is definitely my favorite. Favorite music. So my favorite music is actually movie soundtracks and Broadway soundtracks. Hands down, that's what I like to listen to the best. And what's one word that describes you? So when I read that and thought about it, I was like, creative, that's what I think of. When I asked my husband, he said diligent. So whichever you think. All right, so just to tell you a little bit about myself and about my business. About myself and cross-stitching. I have been cross-stitching for over 10 years now. While I was home from a semester of college, I met my friend Jen, and she taught me how to cross-stitch. We would sit and watch movies or talk or whatever and cross-stitch. And so that really helped me. I had been introduced to cross-stitch when I was 12, and at a church activity, and we were given this pattern. Let's see if I can show it. Yeah. I know we're not supposed to show patterns, but you can't really see much of it. But the real thing is this. So soon after we were given this pattern and the stuff to do it, my family moved across country, and the pattern got all greasy, as well as the cloth and everything. It all got grease on it somehow. And because I was trying to cross stitch while we were traveling, and I was 12, I didn't really know what I was doing. So yeah, that didn't happen. I was given some kits throughout my teen years, and I'd pick things up and try it out, but I'd always get off count and then give up. I did also have some embroidery kits given to me that had like the blue on that shows where you stitch, and so I did a couple of those, but for the most part stitching just didn't happen until I met Jen, and she taught me how to cross stitch, and since then I've loved it, and I've done it, and I've just continued learning. And then a few years ago, let's see, five, six, anyways, a while ago, there was our local fair in town, and one of my sisters wanted to have a booth, and she was like, why don't we sell jewelry at it? And I was like, that's a great idea. And I jumped on the bandwagon. We made lots of jewelry. And then with the jewelry we didn't sell, I created an Etsy store. And I was also selling some of my cross-stitch, things that I'd cross-stitched. But you don't make a lot of money based, you know, considering your time. Even, I mean, I was selling it really cheap. Like, I wasn't even getting $1 an hour for what I was charging. So I was like, I can't do that anymore. But then I read an Etsy article about Satsuma Street. Not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I do. And the idea of, you know, how she did cross-stitch design. So I was like, wow, I've never thought about that, selling cross-stitch patterns on Etsy. So I started designing, and here I am a few years later, and I'm trying to phase out the jewelry. I like jewelry, but not as much as I like cross-stitch, and I love cross-stitch designs, so I'm sticking with it, and I have tons of ideas. So a lot of what I cross-stitch right now is examples for my cross-stitch patterns so that I can have them as part of the pattern. But I will show you just kind of everything I do as I record these videos. So to start, let's go with whips. I've learned a lot of new technology since I joined Instagram and started watching FlossTube. So whips, works in progress. Took me a while, but I got it. So one is this. It's Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. Let me show you the actual thing, or the picture from the kit. This is a kit. I'm only doing this center part. I don't plan to do the border. I also plan to change the color of the flowers because blue's cute, but I want it to be purple. So I will be changing that color. Haven't decided if I'm going to use one of these or pull one from my stash, but yeah, that's my big personal project right now. So on Sundays, I say no work cross stitching. So that's when I work on Sundays. So that's when that gets done. Another whip is this. So this is on Cobwebbed Ada from Stitch Modern. I will put a link to Stitch Modern in the comments. But I am stitching. I did 5 cats sitting on pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns. A series of bookmarks that I am now stitching all together on this piece. I haven't gotten very far, but to use as a wall hanging because I love this cloth and I want those on them because I love my series of cats sitting on pumpkins, and I will put a link to those in the comments as well. Another whip is this, and it actually has a finish and a whip on it. So I use extra threads that are long enough, and I make these patchwork bookmarks. They're fun. They don't take much thought. Just stitch however you want. I don't even really think about it, but I have fun. So I have one whip and one finished that I will cut out eventually. And I just smiled at my husband because he's cooking us dinner because I don't like to cook and he does. Yay! So finishes. So one finish I actually want to show you is this one. So this is from the first pattern that I got back when I was 12, and I knew I always wanted to do it, but I didn't do it that first time, and I chose different colors for some of them, but I finally did it, and I will eventually get it framed. Don't know when, because I want it to have a circle mat, and I will have to have custom do that probably, and that costs money, and I don't have money to do that with. So, oh, actually, here's one of my cats. So this is another one. This was a test stitch that I changed. So this was just a test stitch for it, and this is not how the final version turned out. So I have this finish in my stuff. It'll probably end up getting given as a gift at some point, but for now it's just here where people can see it. Well, no one sees it. I don't know why I said that. These are a couple cute little things from, I don't know if you can see, but they're black work. I have a book that has black work patterns, so I was just playing around with them, stitched those. I don't know how I'm going to finish them, but I will finish them sometime. So this is a Christmas bookmark, and these are some ornaments that I made from this book. Favorite Christmas pattern book. A Cross-Stitch Christmas, Better Homes and Garden, Heartfelt Holiday. So I might see if I can find a link to this book, but I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, there's that. Okay, what was my next one? Oh, this one. So this one I just finished yesterday as part of Mania. So, and that's my door. I love my little door needle minder that I made. But so this was a test stitch for my summer hand towel pattern, which I'm going to get worked on. So I did it, and I love everything except for this. This part right here didn't work out as well as I would have liked. You probably can't see, but yeah. Basically, I don't like it. I redesigned it. I'm going to test stitch a portion of it once again, just to make sure I like my new design. And then I'll be ready to start on my, full hand towel. So this was actually my first Stitch Mania stitch. I'm doing a new stitch every half a week, so this was my first one. Yay, got it done. I don't think I'll get the other ones done, but this one got done, so that's great. And I'll probably make it into a pincushion, like I did some of my other test stitches for my other season hand towels. So there's one. This one is the one I'm using right now because it's my favorite. And then another tree one. So, and with that, this is my test stitch for my spring one. So I'll probably make that into a pincushion as well. I don't need this many pincushions, so I don't know what I'll do with them. I might give them as gifts. We'll see. And another thing, when I was doing some test stitch, I did this little guy. He's super cute. I love him. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I love it and it's cute, so I'll figure something out at some point. Do I have any other finishes? I can show you these. These are more rejects test stitches. So these are from my series, my rose series. So these are both rejects. This one's very sparkly. I don't know if you can see it. Doesn't look like it, but it's very sparkly because I used DMC, the sparkly thread. Metallic, that's the word, metallic. Yeah, I think that's all the finishes I have to show you. Oh, what else was I going to show you? There was something I was going to show you. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. This is my first one. I can remember things later. Oh, and I forgot it again. Oh well. So I'm excited to be part of the FlossTube community. I'm going to try to be myself. I'm an introvert, and I introvert very well. People often don't get to know me very well because I just pull inside and yeah, no one sees the real me. Well, they see parts of it, but anyway, so I'm going to try to be real. Hopefully I'll get better at this over time, add in cool things perhaps, but for now, that's my first FlossTube. Happy stitching!